It's your girl B Nova. Heard you. Yeah. That's what's up, yo. Heard you. Yeah. Excellerant.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to Excellerant. My name is B Nova, Brittany Nova, all the same entity. And today we're gonna be learning, celebrating, and inspiring. At least I hope we do. And we're in for a treat. It's around the holidays, you feel me? And we're gonna be delving into the culinary arts. So let's just jump right into it. I got my mans here. Like, tell us who you are, what you do, where you're from.
Chef Shawn K. I'm from Central New Jersey, Piscataway. Been a chef almost going on 2.5 years, almost 3 years about now. But I've been cooking maybe 10 years now.
Ooh, okay. And funny story, just a sidebar. Like, this is the second time we're actually recording this. So that just goes to show that things don't always go as planned. But it's a treat for me as well because when we first recorded, you were still in culinary school.
Yeah.
So now that transition. So talk to me. Tell me a little bit about culinary school. Like, so, or actually tell me about your relationship with food. Like, what made you decide to...
Well, food, I didn't grow up in a house where we were always cooking. It wasn't like I was always learning or anything like that. And, my dad cooked, but he worked a lot, worked in the city. So he, George Foreman grill was like the first thing I really learned. Like, oh, Shawn, you put a burger on there. 5, you know what I'm saying? Like, learning that. So I started making steaks and stuff, growing up. Because, George Foreman been around like 20 years, 30 years. So, and then when I got to high school, I always used to take like, home ec and all them cooking classes, going through all the schools. Because, they always gave you an option. So I always picked that. Why wouldn't you want to eat?
Yeah.
Got to high school. Took this class where they used to cook for the staff all the time, and I was very interested, but the chef there, he was real with me. He was like, yo, man, if you're not ready for this, long hours, he was like, really, kind of just, chill, because this was, 2005, 2006, he was telling me this. So, fast forward, what is it, like 13 years later, almost, so the culinary field has changed.
Okay.
So,
So what type of knife must one, this is a personal question too, because they be like, pass the serrated knife. I'll be like,
serrated knife is like a bread knife.
Okay.
That's the ones that got I don't have
the ridges.
Yeah, I don't have one in here, but I have one like in my toolbox. Cause I started putting all my knives in the toolbox now.
Do you have a knife sharpener?
I don't. I actually threw out mine because it's actually kind of trash. But these old heads at my job got this really nice one that really sharpens it. I actually have to get one.
Was it like, you remember those people, I don't know if you had any friends that like were a part of that thing where they would knock at your door and try to sell you knives?
Oh, Cutco.
Yeah.
I wasn't a part of it. We went to the meetings because in high school, it's on the wall. It's like one of the first jobs at the guidance counselors or whatever. Especially, I don't know about in New York, but in Jersey, that was like a big thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, I'm getting money off of Cutco. Knives. And I'm just like,
I just remember my homegirl trying to sell me some knives. I'm like, girl,
yeah.
I be going to this corner store. Like, I'll be...
Yeah, it don't matter. A knife is a knife, honestly. You could get it. I have a really nice one I got as a gift that I don't use at all. Like this knife I'm holding right here is really nice, right? But it was only $10. You know what I'm saying?
So it doesn't matter.
So
it just matters.
It matters on your preference on how you hold the knife, how you want to cut. Like me, I don't have any real specific preference anymore. So
can I have a salad?
So I can't, I don't have no preference anymore. So, for me, it's kind of like, if it cuts, and then I'll just sharpen it,
What school did you go to?
So I went to Middlesex Community College. A lot of schools have programs like that at the lower levels where you can still receive the same education. The Culinary Institute of America, CIA, is where a lot of chefs go. Like that's probably like that, or Johnson and Wales, or the Cordon Bleu. Like a lot of these schools are kind of, bigger, but also, these teachers, they do teach at the lower level where you're still getting that same education. We use the same books.
Okay.
The only difference for me is that because I have a degree from St. John's, I got to bypass, math and English and got to take strictly culinary classes the entire time I was there.
So do you need undergrad to then go to culinary school? Or?
You don't, I mean, but you know, with a community college, you could start with your associates,
okay,
and then turn it into a bachelor's of culinary. Me is more like an associate's, you know, more like a certificate of associates, because of the simple fact that I already had a degree, and I didn't have to do a full program. I just only had to do the culinary based part of the program. You know, but I caught the program when it had just kind of started. Like, it had only been in existence for a couple of years, I believe. You know, I don't think you were able to do that before, like, you know, to transfer in with already having a bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
And just kind of just do that. I don't think that was around, so
okay.
I kind of just, you know, caught it at a good time.
Okay, so you guys do your Googles, but so the schools were the Cordon Bleu. What was the other one you said? The CIA?
The CIA is a Culinary Institute of America.
Not the government. But.
And Johnson & Wales has a great program. It's not just for culinary, but it has one of the best culinary programs. You know, these are all major schools you could go to.
Okay.
But you could also just look at your regular community college and take, you know, you could take classes anywhere.
They have culinary.
Yeah, and they could just add up. You know, you could take some here, and maybe they don't got enough for you. You could go to another school and take what they offer and put it together, you know, stuff like that. Because nowadays, you know, it's way easier. You know, you don't got to go to these major schools and pay these major bills.
Is there anything to do with the climbing part? Like, or
you know, I ask chefs this all the time, and everybody says different stuff.
I've heard gum. I've heard eating gum.
I mean, I don't know. They said none of that stuff works. That's what our executive chef said. He said, I tried everything and none of that shit
just
works.
cry.
So just cry.
Just cry, y'all.
He's like, we ain't going
it's good for
you. You know, if you cry.
Yeah.
You know, somewhere.
Y'all, one of my eyes is burning.
I know.
What
I bet you I told you.
My eye is burning.
I thought I was playing.
Alright, let me broth it up. That's crazy. I never saw how stuffing was made. Where do I live? Like, I don't really know.
I mean, honestly, I've never actually bought stuffing like this. I've made it from scratch, and I've bought the box before, you know. So this is actually my first time using this product, you know, because me, just like everybody else, I'm always looking for faster ways to get stuff done, you know. You know, just because you do it a faster way doesn't mean, you know, it's not culinary, you know.
Yeah. Business question, but like, how's the financial aid process for applying, or are there grants? Are there...
Well, I'm pretty sure there are grants and financial aid with any other school. Me, I literally just paid straight up. It was probably like, I don't know, $5,000 maybe.
Okay.
Maybe between like $45,000 and $5,000. Maybe I paid maybe like $15,000 a semester. So I mean, that's not bad, you know.
Compared to the university.
I mean, compared to what I paid for St. John's, I mean, you know, this was a cakewalk. So, you know, like I said, you don't have to go to these large institutions to continue education, especially, you know, if you're older and stuff. Like, there's no reason to do all that, you know. You know, everything is a stepping stone.
Yes, yes. Now, I just think about the chef on my job, and like, you know, first it was 15 of us. Now it's like 40 of us almost, you know. So to just see, you know, sometimes they're a little demanding, like, or like, he'll think he'll make enough protein, and then it'll be gone. You know what I'm saying?
It's because you can't, like, when we get orders for our dinner, you know, the servers get the orders, and then we count out how much protein we need. We always make enough because, you know, we always think it's gonna be heavier on beef or something, so, you know, we'll cook more beef than fish or something like that. But, you know, you still got people that are like, nah, we want this. I saw this, now I want this. Like, bruh, like, you ordered, like, you ordered this and now you want to change it. So, I mean, that's not our fault, that's your fault. You know? But people always see, like when you're in a restaurant, right? When you sit there and you see a plate go to somebody's table and it's something you like, you're gonna like, oh man.
Yeah, then you're like, wait,
like
never mind, I want that.
If you didn't order yet, then that's gonna drive your decision.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, that's why it's, you know.
But they can't be mad about it. It's like, like that's happened to me where I've ordered something and then I see somebody else order it, something else, and I'm like, damn, maybe I should have got that, but oh well, at this point, you know. Oh, so, okay, this is going to sound super ignorant, but you can put the plastic
I didn't know that until I started working in Chartwells and in catering, because I never knew that.
Cause I was like, what you doing?
But if you can't, like, tinfoil will like leak onto certain things. I don't know about the stuffing. I only did that because I wanted it to steam the bread and the butter.
Okay.
That's why I put the plastic on, but
Oh, see, I never knew that you can put the plastic in the oven, y'all.
I mean, I'm not gonna say just be doing that like haphazardly.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you can do it if you need to. A lot of people don't want to because they think the plastic is gonna melt.
Right.
But it's made, like, this type of plastic is made to sit on top of hot stuff, so it's not gonna melt. You know what I'm saying?
So one of the questions I want to know, I have some friends that just work in the kitchen, but they've never gone to culinary school. So what is the difference, or the difference in obligation from somebody that works in the kitchen and they went to culinary school? They're a chef and then they're just a cook, Not to discredit that, but just,
I definitely understand that. I feel like if you just, like that, so you could walk into a kitchen and be like, yo, I have no experience, and sometimes the chef will play it out and see how you are, check your knife skills and, see if you could really prep. But, everybody washes dishes at some point in the kitchen. So, a lot of chefs became chefs from being dishwashers. Like, if you listen to a lot of stories, I mean, it's not just about, going to school. Some guys just got a job in a restaurant and liked it and just moved up.
Yeah.
Things of that nature. So the only difference is the education, but not to say that you still won't learn a lot on the job. It's just that, when you go to school, you get kind of a staple of a learning that you can just take anywhere. Like me personally, you don't you learn to, to use your hands and looks and, smells, when you're in the kitchen. But, they teach us about all types of temperatures while we're in school. Like, me personally, if I know something's got to be a certain temperature, I'd rather cook it to that temperature because I know it's cooked. I'm not going to feel it, But some chefs don't.
Like, that looks good
but
to
a
me.
lot of chefs, don't want you to do that. But that's the difference between, going to school and being in the, just learning from just being in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And, little stuff, but also it helps because, a lot of stuff you don't forget either.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of books and they give you a lot of material. Like me, I have a binder strictly on baking and strictly on, pastries and strictly on this because
Really?
I had to make them to give to the teachers at the end, so they knew that we had the stuff. And, I got recipes for days that are very simple that they give you in school.
Yeah.
So school does give you a lot. Like, it does give you a lot of material, and, the knowledge that you can continue after it is, but like I said, that's not for everybody. Not everybody learns like that.
Yeah.
Not even me. Just because I went to school doesn't mean I like books.
Right, I was just gonna say, like, so how often do you look back at these things like, what goes in this? Like, let me look back or whatever, or does it just depend on, like, the kitchen you work in, or?
Well, in my main commissary where my job is at, the executive chef has posted a bunch of, little tidbits like, different cuts and, different sauces and stuff that you, not to say you forget, but, you sometimes lose, when you're going through, your cooking, especially at the catering level, it's different than restaurants,
So you cater?
Well, we cater, but I call it high volume catering because we still plate and do dishes and things of that nature, but we're not giving everybody a menu and they're ordering something.
Okay.
It's like, this is the menu, this is what we're eating, excuse me, and, this is what we're gonna put out.
I see.
So,
Okay.
that's the difference. Restaurants have strict menus that they can order whatever they want at any time. When we
Right.
go to these places, the menus, it's paid for. We have BEOs, those are banquet event orders, and it's already set. You can't change nothing. It doesn't matter what goes on.
Right.
So.
Okay. This smells very good. What we about to do, add some butter to this?
Well, it has butter. It's just like regular mashed potatoes, just garlic mashed potatoes, nothing crazy. You can make this with a couple potatoes. You can buy it. It's whatever you want to do. I just took a couple potatoes and mashed them. you know, and then I just put them in here, and then, you know, I threw them in the microwave because I had been did them. So, you know, we're about to just, you know, add some butter. And
Do
some
you
chives.
do you have to add milk to it, like to mashed potatoes?
Yeah, you gotta add some type of cream. You don't gotta do. You could do heavy cream. You could do regular milk. You could do. I mean, you probably could do half and half. I mean, I guess it's like I said, all this stuff is preference, you know. I mean, it's always milk or cream and butter, you know. I mean, most of the time, what you do is you mash up the potatoes, you melt down the butter with the milk, get it hot, and then you pour it in while you're whipping.
And what about the garlic?
I mean, the garlic. I mean, you could mince it. You can make a garlic oil. You know, you could do that. Like, it just really just depends. You know, I mean, garlic is very strong, so you try not to use too much of it if that's not your intention. Like me, sometimes I like garlic mashed potatoes, so I want a lot of garlic. I want to taste that. Like everything I'm really doing is not like, you know, no professional type shit, because honestly, yo, like when we cook at our job, this is just how our chef is. He's always like, oh, yo, just make it taste good and look good. You know, like that's all he says. Like it's not like he's saying, you know, oh, you need to do this or you need to do that. You know, a lot of chefs are like that. A lot of chefs are, it's my way or the highway type shit, and I don't like that, because a lot of people dream bigger than that. Like, just because you're working wherever you're working now, that doesn't mean that that's where you're gonna be working, you know, forever. You know, so, you know, that's why I like that we have the liberty, you know, to do what we want to do, because it helps us learn, but also, you know, it doesn't feel like we're being pressured to just do somebody else's work.
So in the kitchen as well, like just as a man of color, like what are the adversities that you experience, or do you feel like you don't, or do you feel like everybody is treated the same, you know?
Well, you know, I started in a black kitchen with a black exec chef, you know, and everybody, you know, we're all black, so that's how I started, you know. But then when I worked in the schools, you know, for Chartwells, it was different. There was actually a mix, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of the higher ups, you know, were white. So, you know, you got to go through that, and a lot of them aren't chefs. It's not like an adversity, it's just that if you're not a chef, how can you tell me chef things? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Like, you can't tell me how to chef because you really don't, like, your knowledge is not where we're thinking.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Being in the kitchen, you know, I worked with a bunch of Italian guys at my last job before I went back to work with the chef that I work with now. And that was probably a struggle because, you know, between them kind of not wanting to let people know their stuff and kind of not trusting, you know, it's just like, you gotta trust your chefs, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, not above anything, I don't want people to look at my resume and think I'm just a chef. Like, you know, I do have a degree outside of this. There's stuff that I've done outside of that. So you gotta take that into account when you hire people. Some people just are stuck in their ways, and, you know, and it wasn't like they was cooking some exclusive stuff. You know,
Caviar, you know.
You know, I learned how, like, they made vodka sauce all the time, and I make better vodka sauce now with black chefs than they made when they're Italian. You know what I'm saying? So
now that we're done, well, not we. Now that you're done cooking, let's let the viewers know what we have here.
All right, so everything is pretty simple. It's all the stuff that you can find at your supermarket. So we got some green beans right here. You know, salt, pepper, garlic, butter. You know, something really simple. Got some sweet potatoes right here. Apologize for the marshmallows coming off, but
we want that. We want that effect.
Yeah, so you know, sweet potatoes. You know, I like marshmallows. Not everybody makes them like this. Some people mash them. I mean, you can make them different ways, but I mean, they're still gonna come out the same. Like that's how I feel. And I never really started making this until I started making Thanksgiving dinner. So I never made that before like that. Right here we just got a couple pieces of turkey. Not no crazy seasoning, but we got a nice little gravy on it that I baked it in, you know, so it's nice. Right here we got a little bit of butternut squash soup. You know, very simple, just onions, garlic, you know, a little bit of celery, you know, sweat it down, and just mostly, you know, roasted butter squash. And heavy cream or milk, doesn't matter. Cranberry sauce, I mean, you could take your own cranberries, you could take it from the can, it really doesn't matter because it's all gonna be the same. Right here we got some nice stuffing. You know, like I said, it was from It's this new thing. You know, Arnold's, the bread company.
Yeah.
Now they come with pre-made. You know, it's not pre-made. They just take their bread and they crumble it up. I eat Arnold's bread all the time. So you know what I'm saying. So like I said, it's not like you're cheating or anything. You know, this is their bread. They just cubed it up for you. You could do whatever you want to it. I just decided to just do regular onions, you know, chicken broth, and celery. You know, kept it real simple. Garlic mash topped with chives. You know, nothing crazy. Black pepper, salt, garlic powder, butter, chives on top. You know, gives it a nice taste. And I took out our dessert. Right here we have on the top. Make sure there's no plastic on there. On the top is a Henny Coquito cheesecake mix, but on the inside is apple pie filling. So it's gonna be very interesting because no one has ever tried this. I made this, you know, just out of necessity because I had stuff left. So we're all gonna be the first ones to actually try this today.
So just, you know, before we end off, like, for you all that don't know, we just had an amazing meal that, you know, we're gonna share with you guys afterwards. So I'm definitely a little slumped, but he knew what I liked. The food was amazing. You know, it was the holiday time. So thank you so much for having us.
No problem. Thank you.
So what's something that you want to leave off for the audience or anybody that might be interested in going to culinary school, or if they're done, what's the transition from, you know, being fresh out of school into actually getting a job? Like, what's some advice you'd give?
You definitely gotta put your work in. You know, I do private parties now, but I didn't start by doing private parties. Like, and even my first private party was like, "Hey, Shawn, I know you're a chef. Can you just do my party? Like, I don't care what you do." So, but you gotta put your work in. Like I just told you, I've done them, but I just took a break from doing them to really put the work in to get my stuff together and get my information together, get my knowledge up. You know, so like I told you, when we did that meal, it didn't take me nothing to put that meal together, but a couple of years ago, I really would have not known how to do that. You know, so you really have to put your work in, and it doesn't mean you have to be in a restaurant or anything, but I would say go to a restaurant, at least so you know what it's like. Because restaurant is the staple of the culinary industry, are restaurants. That is the staple. They will always need people. So if you want to know how it is before you say no, because I was even one of those people and I probably wouldn't have done it, but you know, you need to start somewhere before you really branch out. And the restaurant, you know, or a banquet hall will always help you because it'll show you the things that you need to take elsewhere. You know, but also make sure that you read and you practice, you know, because even for me, sometimes, you know, if I'm not doing a lot, you know, you could lose it. Yeah. You know. So always practice. You know, you always want to make sure you write a lot down, write all your recipes down, because you know everybody's not that type of learner. You know, you gotta really figure out what works for you learning wise.
You think you'll do a cookbook maybe, or some type of? Well, what do you want to do? Like, tell these people your socials. Let them know how to get in touch with you.
I'm at Chef K on everything. 2 underscores at Chef K. Just like it says on here, just no Shawn. You know, it's just Chef K underscore on Instagram. I'll have just a food page coming in 2020 where it's just strictly food. You can follow me on anything. Facebook, you know, Chef Shawn K on there too. I have all my food from when I first started, actually. Like, I have pictures on there from when I wasn't even a chef. So, you know, just even seeing that. But I eventually want to become a private chef, you know, or at least be able to do private events half the time and be able to do industry work the other half of the time, because I don't want to be fully out of the industry, but I would like to be entrepreneurial and work for myself. So, you know, that's always a goal in any field, you know, but private dinners, private events, meal preps. Shoot, I'll go on tour with somebody for a month if they need somebody.
Yes.
So, you know, like, I'm all about, you know, good food, and, you know, I'm not materialistic, but, you know, you got to get paid. You know, you got to get paid your worth. So, you know,
and there's a market for it, because there are people like me. I just, you know, I just like the food to be there. I like to think I'm hungry.
And it's there.
And it's there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm never stressing my baby, he always checking with him, it's no second guessing. He know what I like. He stay caressing, we moving, yeah, we investing, no disrespecting. He know what I like. Yeah, shopping sprees. He know what I like. My mind at ease. He know what I like. A lot of. He know what I like. Yeah, loyalty. He know what I like. Yeah, He been a blessing, cause even when they be pressing, he's a to the left, baby. To the left, to the left. He learned his lessons, he cool and he don't be fessing, but still hold a Smith and Wesson. They thought I was a player from the Himalaya, but I was waiting for the one who overstood my layers.